Where does the president go in times of crisis? How does the White House kitchen prevent the first family from being poisoned? Hello viewers and welcome to our channel. Today, in this video, we will talk about 10 amazing security features of White House that will blow your mind. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Number 10. Bulletproof windows. On November 11, 2011, a man named Oscar Ortega Hernandez, who was obsessed with the date 11/11/11 and fixated on assassinating President Obama, took a modified AK-47 and fired upon the back windows of the White House. The shots were fired from nearby Constitution Avenue, about 2,000 feet away, where Hernandez had stationed his fortunately for the first family and the country. Hernandez failed to prepare for two things. Not only are these windows bulletproof, it is believed they are equipped with ultrasonic devices that prevent would-be spies from listening in on top-secret conversations inside. Number 9. Food testing. When one thinks of the term food tester, it conjures up images of paranoid dictators like Napoleon or Stalin. But the American commander-in-chief uses one as well. It may not often be talked about because they are usually a little more sly than the nervous food testers in movies. When traveling or eating out, the president's food taster is usually a member of the Secret Service or a trusted White House chef. The Secret Service also usually does a thorough search of this kitchen before the meal is even prepared. Number 8. Restricted airspace. Early in the morning on September 12, 1994, while President Clinton was in office, a man struggling with depression and other mental issues flew a small two-seater plane into the South Lawn with the wreckage coming to rest near the base of the White House, 2 stories underneath the presidential bedroom. Even though the Clintons were staying across the street that night due to the ventilation system being repaired, the photographs of a plane wreck only feet away from the leader of the free world's abode were a scary sight. There has long been restricted airspace over the White House, which stretches for 18,000 feet around it and is monitored by the Federal Aviation Administration. The Dazzler is a controversial device that shoots strobing beams of light at a pilot or attackers, significantly disorienting them. Number 7. Air filtration. Chemical weapons are an even bigger threat today than they ever have been. From potential dangers like tiny capsules filled with devastating viruses to vicious gases that are undetectable by even the most highly skilled noses, the White House needs to be prepared in the event an undetected assassin unleashes an airborne toxin. The White House has been renovated several times over with the latest air filtration system in a similar way to which Las Vegas casinos are constantly pumping in fresh and special scented oxygen in order to disperse smoke and fill gamblers with happy feelings. The White House is always pumping in fresh oxygen and sucking out any foreign particles. Number 6. Monitoring. Even in recent years with heightened security at the White House, there are dozens of people who have jumped the fence or attempted to get inside by other means, whether with the purpose of harming the first family or just getting on TV. There are hundreds of cameras lining the property and hidden within it that can not only record in high definition, and if that's not enough to stop first fans from taking midnight strolls up to the president's doorstep, they'll probably set off the infrared sensors that monitor all ground activity. Number 5. Secret Service. Just as important as all of the technology used to protect the White House is the human element. Secret Service has gone from being a small force comprised of a handful of agents, even as recently as the 1960s, to around 3,000 agents and 3,000 other employees in tech, administrative, and uniformed officer divisions today. They are trained to immediately rush and take out anyone breaching the grounds in their sights. Over the years, there have been some extremely brave members of the service who have lost their lives or been seriously wounded by protecting the president without concern for themselves. Number 4. Operations Center. Underneath the White House's East Wing is one of the most important rooms in the United States. This is the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, and it is from here that the president runs the country in times of crisis. The most recent time that it was used as an emergency headquarters was during September 11th, when the National Security Council and President George W. Bush orchestrated the aid efforts and various strategic responses for the tragedy. Number 3. Tunnels. The Operations Center isn't the only secret that lies beneath historic White House grounds. Jutting out in all different directions to locations throughout Washington, D.C., there are a series of underground tunnels. The first tunnels may have been built hundreds of years ago, but the system was modernized in the 1950s. There are several rumored tunnels whose existence has yet to be confirmed. One that connects to the President's house, the Pentagon, Blair House across the street, and one that leads from the White House's East Wing into the Treasury Building's basement. There may even be a secret tunnel that leads from the White House to the common presidential retreat, Camp David. Number 2. Barriers. Despite years and years of security tech upgrades, one of the strongest intruder or would-be assassin deterrent features of the White House is also one of the simplest, its iconic iron fence. The original fence that was built by Thomas Jefferson was actually made of wood. They're only designed to keep farm animals from wandering into the White House gardens. After the nation lost President Kennedy in the 1960s, there was a heightened fear of future attacks, and the fence was increased in height by just over half a foot, bringing its new height to 7 feet and 6 inches. Number 1. Drone defense. From one of the oldest features to one of the newest. In order to stop the threat of weaponized consumer drones, the White House has incorporated some unique technology that can down them in an instant. In what is called geofencing, the Federal Aviation Administration requires that drone manufacturers have a program built into them that requires them to enforce the administration's no-fly zone boundaries. This program effectively shuts down a drone if it tries to fly into the established geofence, which covers a 35-mile radius encircling the White House. Even if you were to accidentally fly a drone into the airspace, the security doesn't stop where your drone does. An owner of any device that is snatched by the geofence will be subject to investigation and prosecution. So this was our today's video. I hope you all like it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe the channel. We will be back soon with a new video. Till then, keep supporting and take care.